Let's welcome a guy that I can't think of to start a Saturday morning better than this guy's singing voice. It transforms me. It really does. Mr. Sir Joe Jencks.
This is Nouveau Art Folk I've been working on. It was all fine until the sun hit the instrument. All right, a little on-stage communication here. Now we're ready to go. How's everybody doing this morning? Ah, fantastic. That's great. Asked me here to tell you about my neighbors and my friends, to talk about the who and what, the where and how and when. But I won't give you anything you don't already know. But if you'd like, I'll sing that list of songs before I go. Let me sing you a song about the people that I love, the poets and philosophers, the workers and the wanderers, the ones who walk the picket lines, who dare to stand and fight, and the ones who hold their babies close and rock them through the night. Well, you say it's un-American to do the things I do. I sing for justice, liberty, and civil rights, it's true. Well, I say it's un-American to ask me how I vote, how I pray, or what I believe. But here's a song I wrote. Let me sing you a song about the people that I love, poets and philosophers, the poets and philosophers, the workers and the wanderers, the ones who walk the picket lines, who dare to stand and fight, and the ones who hold their babies close and rock them through the night. It was my extraordinary privilege to be friends with Pete Seeger. That doesn't make me special. Pete was friends with a whole lot of people, but it sure does make me happy. Hanging out with Pete was a lot like the table I grew up eating around in my mother's kitchen. There was always room for one more person at the table. And with Pete, there was always room for one more person in the spotlight, the bane of stage managers everywhere. But he really was as gracious as he seemed from a distance. And one time, around about 2002, he and I were sitting along the banks of the Hudson River at a retreat center. Just the two of us, and I asked him what it was like in 1955 when they called him before the House Un-American Activities Committee. He said they started asking him all sorts of questions about the songs he was writing and who they were for and what they were about, as if it weren't obvious. They asked him questions about collaborators and partners in the process and who was paying for all of this. They asked him questions about political parties he may or may not have been a part of. Are you now or have you ever been? They asked him questions about houses of worship he may or may not have attended. To all of these questions, his answers were very similar. I paraphrase, but he said, "Gentlemen," using the term loosely, he said, "Gentlemen, I'm just a singer. I travel all over the world, and I sing songs that hopefully serve to lessen the distance between people. As for these other accusations that you're making, I don't really know how to respond. But I brought my banjo with me to Congress today, and if you'd like, I'd be happy to play some of those songs for you that you're so concerned about." Well, they declined his gracious offer, and the questions continued. And Pete's answers remained both vague and specific, as was his inclination. And finally, one of the congressmen in frustration stomped his foot and said, "Mr. Seeger, are you pleading the Fifth Amendment?" Well, Pete looked over at his lawyer, and then he looked back at the congressman, and he said, "Why, no, sir, I'm pleading the First Amendment. If I had a hammer, I'd hammer in the morning, I'd hammer in the evening, all over this land. I'd hammer out danger, I'd hammer out warning, I'd hammer out love between my brothers and my sisters all over this land." If you want to send me to prison, I guess that's the way it'll be. 'Cause I won't give you fodder for your paranoid machine. If the price of my silence is shackles, well then, fellas, take me away. For I will live to sing again and rise with a brand new day. Let me sing you a song about the people that I love, the poets and philosophers, the workers and the wanderers, the ones who walk the picket lines, who dare to stand and fight, and the ones who hold their babies close and rock them through the night. Yes, the ones who hold their babies close and rock them through the night. Many of you know that I'm a dual U.S. Irish citizen, but I was born here in the United States of America, and I will not be exercising the privilege of that parachute. I will be staying right here and being shoulder to shoulder with everybody who is working diligently with love in their heart to preserve the Republic as we know it, to make it better, to recognize, just like that table I grew up eating around, and just like that stage that Pete used to hold, there's always room for one more. There is always room for one more, and we are made better by that diversity. We are made better by the inclusion of that diversity into the fabric of our daily lives. This next song is one that I wrote while on tour in Ireland, and my people come from, for hundreds of years, in a little town called Athy in the southwest corner of County Kildare, just north of the Carlow border. Which comforts me, because while my people have been found there for hundreds of years, I'm usually not found in the same place for more than a couple of nights in a row. So it's nice to know that somehow there's cosmic balance in the force. And not to be a traitor to my people from Athy in the beautiful County Kildare, but I have fallen in love with the mountains of County Kerry, and that's what this song is about. When I first came here to wander these mountains, my heart was tattered and torn. Ever the rover and all the world over, no land ever felt like a home. But here in the crags and the bogs and the valleys, I found some measure of ease, where the song of the wind is as sweet to behold as the beautiful rose of Tralee. And it's high up and over the mountains of Kerry that I love so dear. I don't know when I will see you again in the coming of the years. Now I have been blessed to live a good life. I can count my friends by the score, and I have shared meals and moments of kindness. God willing, I'll know many more. But when the burden I've chosen to shoulder is more than I can stand, I find that my thoughts wander back up to Kerry, that rugged and beautiful land. And it's high up and over the mountains of Kerry that I love so dear. I don't know when I will see you again in the coming of the years. When I have traveled all of my journeys and sung all of my songs, when I have given the best that I have and righted most of my wrongs, then take me back to the place that I love. Let me gaze out over the sea. Take me back to the mountains of Kerry and let my spirit run free. And it's high up and over the mountains of Kerry that I love so dear. I don't know when I will see you again in the coming of the years. I don't know when I will see you again in the coming of the years. I don't know when, but I'll see you again in the coming of the years. I debuted this song here 2 years ago on the Friday night song swap. It's a song that has many reasons for being. I'll let you find them in your own heart. It's called Let It Breathe. But in particular, I was looking at a lot of younger people in my life and thinking about how challenging it is to find yourself in any age, at any time, any person. How much harder it is when everybody's walking around with a device in their pocket that is constantly broadcasting everybody else's best day ever. And you're trying to live up to that. And I thought, wow, it's a different universe than it was when I was a teenager and when I was in my 20s. And I was moved deeply with compassion for some younger folk in my life, to whom I really wanted to say, you get that's all fantasy, right? Like, not that those days didn't really happen, not that there were good ones, but everybody else has bad days too, you know what I mean? Like, everybody else has those days that they wish they could just kind of erase and move on. So they don't really post about those days so much, you know. And anyway, if you pick it up and you want to sing along, please do. Lay down your weapons. Love has you surrounded. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. You go through the world, everybody's sweetheart, keeping up a front that wears you down. But in a quiet moment, the truth comes out. Some days you feel like you're about to drown. So lay down your weapons. Love has you surrounded. No easy way out. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. There is no reason to play this charade. You can be loved for who you are. And for every troubled thought that crosses your mind, please know that you are someone else's shining star. Lay down your weapons. Lay down your weapons. Love has you surrounded. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. What do you need? By what measure would you know that you are more than what you achieve? When you look in the mirror, is it possible to see that you are enough? So let it breathe. Lay down your weapons and lay down your weapons. Love has you surrounded. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. Lay down your weapons. Love has you surrounded. There is no easy way out. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. Lay down your shield. Let your heart break just a little. Let love remove all doubt. Thank you. I'd love to invite Caroline Solabello out to sing a song with me. The inimitable, the one and only, the amazing.
Hello.
You got the memo, Black.
I did.
Fantastic.
You know, I was back there having conversations. I'm like, oh, you know, Joe knows I'm here by telepathy.
Yeah. Well, what a joy to be here with you, Caroline.
The feeling is, oh, so mutual. Thank you for asking.
I'm telling you, those booths say, I mean business.
I always do, Joe. I always do.
I know this, but, you know, that's a statement.
You know, they're Falcon Ridge boots.
I used to wear boots like that, actually.
Yeah?
Yeah, back when I had a mohawk.
Photos or it didn't happen. I need to see it.
Oh, no. Like in college, you know, full egg whites,
Oh,
pink
my
spray, the
God.
whole thing. And then it evolved into a mohawk mullet that was only spiked sometimes, and the rest of the time it was in disguise.
You think you know a person.
Ask Sunny Oaks about that sometime. She has memories of the mohawk mullet. She almost didn't like me because of it, and then she got over it.
Love it.
It's a song called Let It Rain. I was sitting on a dock in Maine one night a few years back. It was one of those nights where the sky was so clear it was like you could see every star up there. And the bay that I was sitting on was so calm. You could see every one of those stars reflected below your feet. I did the only natural thing. I started singing Ground Control to Major Tom as I was floating through the cosmos. But then I started thinking of the poetry of the 13th century Sufi mystic Rumi, as you do. From there I jumped to an old American folk song, one that my parents used to sing when we were kids around the campfire. The last verse of which always mesmerized me, captured my imagination. The last verse of that song said this: how often at night, when the heavens are bright, with the light from the glimmering stars, have I stood there amazed and asked as I gazed if their glory exceeds that of ours. One moment of mercy was all that it took to drive me clean out of my head. A piece of my heart had been sleeping so long that I had given it for dead. Better than I traveled this journey, and none have returned here unchanged. But the lilacs in bloom and the thunderhead loops, and my lonely heart prays for the rain. Let it rain, oh, let it rain. Let the waters of love wash away all the pain. Let the hope of redemption be all that remains. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. When the ancients and mariners looked toward the heavens at night, did they yearn for the day? Were they transfixed by the wonders they saw in the lights that guided their way? I need to believe that there is no sadness so great that it cannot heal. But sometimes the longing inside, it consumes me so much. Well, it's all that I feel. Let it rain, oh, let it rain. Let the waters of love wash away all the pain. Let the hope of redemption be all that remains. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. When I stand on the ledge and I cling to the edge for dear life, afraid to let go. What if love's call pulls me into a free fall? What then? Oh, tell me what then? Somewhere way out there, beyond right and wrong, there's a place that I long to see. If I don't return, I'll be wishing you well from wherever I happen to be. Let it rain. Let it rain, oh, let it rain. Let the waters of love wash away all the pain. Let the hope of redemption be all that remains. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Let it rain, oh, let it rain. Let the waters of love wash away all the pain. Let the hope of redemption be all that remains. let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Let it rain, let it rain, let it rain. Caroline Solibello. I would next like to invite out one of my oldest friends in folk music, Rod McDonald. I should say longest standing friends in folk music, to be clear. I know a whole lot of older people than Rod in folk music. But when I was 14 years old, I opened a show for Rod at a local folk club in my hometown. And he and I have been friends ever since. And I put a lot of that on his shoulders because he was the one that bothered to keep in touch. And he is brilliant at being a nurturing presence in the lives of many, many people over the span of his career. And I'm very privileged and proud to be one of those people that Rod has consistently encouraged and nudged and, done collaboration with. I covered one of his songs a long time ago. He recently recorded Lady of the Harbor, and I was very honored by that. There's nothing like having one of your songwriting mentors decide that they want to sing one of your songs. So, yeah. This is a new one of mine. It's called The Bells of Freedom. Some of you heard this last night. And when I was working on this, I was like, what would be great? It'd be great to hear Rod McDonald play harmonica on this song. Many of you know him as a singer and songwriter, but he is an exquisite harmonica player as well. He's smirking in disbelief, but it's true.
I'm going to give you a couple more minutes to cut this out.
All right, sorry, Will, I unplugged. I'm back now. 2 seconds. There we are. All is well. Thank you. Now, there really is something about getting to know people that we have admired from a distance and recognizing that the only distance between us is the fact that we have them on a pedestal. Usually they're not trying to be on one. This is something I learned from Pete Seeger. He spent most of his time trying to climb off the pedestals other people put him on. Because he felt best when he was shoulder to shoulder with his peer group, with his community. And what a privilege it is to be in community with all of you and know so many people in this community that behave that way, that model that kind of community. We are all in this together. Father, my dear Father, you told the story well of how your country called on you, then sent you into hell. Of all the good people who were fighting by your side, just to keep the bells of freedom ringing. Sister, my dear sister, I know you see the light. Singing bread and roses, you keep vigil through the night. With one hand on the cradle, one hand holds the picket sign, as you strain to hear the bells of freedom ringing. Mother, my dear mother, well, you have spent your years elevating others, though sometimes through your tears. You've given all you have to give to help so many rise, that they might hear the bells of freedom ringing. Brother, my dear brother, do you think you were left out? Do you think that someone took your share and so you scream and shout? You defile the shrine of liberty for which so many died, 'cause you cannot hear the bells of freedom ringing. Now the fox is in the hen house, others prowl around the door. The vultures circle round to claim what they could not reach before. They will not be contented till there's nothing left but bones, and they've never heard the bells of freedom ringing. Country, my dear country, just look at what we've done. Have we presided over the setting of the sun? Or all the rights that we have gained will hope return again? Will we still hear the bells of freedom ringing? So stand up and be counted. Do not accept this fate. The future will belong to those who do not hesitate to speak up for the innocent. Hear Lady Justice call, for she will keep the bells of freedom ringing. There's a time I prayed soon when we will turn the tide. We'll turn away from hatred and we'll forsake our pride. We'll build a different future, a story yet untold, and we will keep the bells of freedom ringing. Yes, we will see the people rise that don't know how or when. We will find a way to ring that freedom bell again. And all of you who truly see a stranger as a friend will give it all to keep the bells of freedom ringing. So bring to me your immigrants, bring to me your friends, bring to me the laborers whose toil never ends. Bring to me the children still bold enough to dream. We will keep the bells of freedom ringing. Yes, bring to me all those who dare to dream and dream again. We will keep the bells of freedom ringing. We will keep the bells of freedom ringing. Thank you, Doc. That was beautiful, man. Thank you.
Rod McDonald. Plenty of opportunities to see him here this weekend at the festival. Many, many thanks to our entire corps of sign language interpreters here this weekend. Doing a great job bringing the music to everybody. Thanks to our stage crew and to our sound folks. I still have several songs left, but I just felt like saying thank you. Yeah. Whole crew of people, Jake and Isaac and Tyler up here on stage, and Will back there, and just a host of volunteers making this place function. So thanks for that. Especially the people that end up working, 8 days in a row to make the kitchen happen for the volunteers and performers. That's a whole thing. Yeah, I just learned yesterday that kitchen staff have to put in 40 hours of volunteer work. And most other people are doing 18 to 20, at least on paper. So, yeah, if you happen to see anybody who is a volunteer, just say thank you. This is also a fairly new song. I wrote this on a retreat with Jack Williams and some other folks down in Texas. I got to know them at the Kerrville Festival. Obviously, a lot going on in Texas these days, down in that part of Texas. But Jack, for over 30 years, hosted a gathering along the Edisto River, the longest blackwater estuary in the world. And he'd been inviting me down there in South Carolina for years, and I never made it. And he finally said, "This is the last one. If you want to come, this is the time." And so I went down there in 2019. And it took me years to finish writing this song. I started it down there, and then, the whole pandemic thing happened, and I abandoned a lot of thought processes that were in motion, and it took me a while to pick them back up. But my buddy Jim Noble, who lives south of Houston, was like, "Hey, Joe, when are you going to finish my song about Edisto?" And I was like, I promise. Jim, I'll get there. I'll get it done. And finally, he called me up last year before Kerrville, and he says, "Joe, I ain't getting any younger. It's about time I want to hear that song before I'm dead." I said, "Okay, I promise." So I got it done before I went to Kerrville last year. And, yeah.
Black water rises and falls.
I think I am a whole step too low. Sorry about that.
Black water rises and falls with the summer rain. Blowing through this cypress swamps, it eases my pain. The Spanish moss is hanging from the crepe myrtle tree. There is something ancient in the air that I breathe. Edisto. Oh, I long to go and let the waters wash my worries away. This life is hard, but I remember feeling free when I was cradled in the arms of the Edisto. These living waters keep calling out my name. And I have been baptized in their mystery untamed. Serenity is fleeting in the life that I lead. But here for just a little while, I have everything I need. Edisto. Oh, I long to go. Let the waters wash my worries away. This life is hard, but I remember feeling free when I was cradled in the arms of the Edisto. When reality comes crashing down around me, there's a place that I go to in my mind. A cabin by the river, hummingbirds and roses. A sweeter place on earth is hard to find. But this is where I leave it all behind. Edisto. Oh, I long to go and let the waters wash my worries away. This life is hard, but I remember feeling free when I was cradled in the arms of the Edisto. When I was cradled in the arms of the Edisto.
So for those of you who don't know what Blackwater is, hey Blackwater, oh Blackwater, Mississippi. The trees, the cedars and the tamaracks and a bunch of other stuff leach tannins into the water. And everybody was jumping in the river and floating down in tubes and like having a thing. But you stick your hand in here and it's totally pure. You can dip a glass in, drink the water fresh out of it. It is like as pure as nature makes water in terms of what the body can work with. But it's disquieting because you stick your hand in and it disappears. Like about once you get to the wrist, you can't see the tips of your fingers anymore. It's not so much that I was not interested in being in the water, but rather I was concerned that there was something down there that might confuse me for lunch. Made me very anxious. But it was beautiful. It really was. And I played that song at Kerrville. And then I was asked to play it again at a campfire. And I played it. And this woman comes like bounding out of the woods and says, "Play that song again." And those of you who know song circle etiquette, you don't take two turns in a row. And even if for some odd reason you were asked to, you wouldn't play the same song 2 times in a row. But she was quite insistent. Her tone of voice made it clear that this was not a request. And I looked around the circle and all the musicians shrugged and I played the song again. And she said, "Who the hell writes a song about the Edisto River?" I said, "Well, apparently I did." "Why?" She said, "I got my PhD in hydrology studying the Edisto River in South Carolina." I was like, "Man, I love the folk music community. You are some of the most esoteric people in the world." Like, it was just totally bizarre. Totally bizarre. There we go. I was in Ireland in the summer of 2019, and toward the end of my trip, my buddy Frank came up to me. He grew up in rural Clare farming community, has a very kind of thick rural Clare accent, and he says, "Joseph, you'd better mind that president of yours." And I said, "I didn't have anything to do with that." He says, that man. I said, "Well, what about him? I mean, I've been here for 2.5 weeks, ignoring my own country. What happened?" He said, "That man, he had the gall to call the Prime Minister of Denmark a nasty woman." "I don't understand this nasty woman business, Joseph. Can you explain that to me?" And I said, "Actually, no, Frank, I can't. It makes no sense to me at all. None whatsoever." He says, "Well, no. You look into that straight away and you get back to me." I said, "Well," but it turned into this song. Because sometimes the truth is stranger than fiction. Up in the North Atlantic, there's a place that's quite well known, though not too many visit, even fewer call it home. Subjects of the Danish crown, an independent state, but you can't procure a nation or just monetize their fate. It's not for sale, it's not for sale. You can throw a temper tantrum, you can rant and you can rail, but you can't have everything you want. You're not too big to fail. It's not for sale, it's not for sale. The Prime Minister of Denmark said this is quite absurd. You cannot purchase Greenland, and that's the final word. Well, you called the woman nasty 'cause she would not do your bidding. People all around the world say, "Man, is this guy kidding?" It's not for sale, it's not for sale. You can throw a temper tantrum, you can rant and you can rail, but you can't have everything you want. You're not too big to fail. It's not for sale, it's not for sale. Now there is no fake truth, there is only fact or fiction. No blow-eating blunderbuss can reconcile the friction. A tweet is not a law, and no order can be given to make a people sell to you the country that they live in. It's not for sale, it's not for sale. You can throw a temper tantrum, you can rant and you can rail, but you can't have everything you want. You're not too big to fail. It's not for sale, it's not for sale, it's not for sale, it's not for sale. Try Iceland,
It's not for sale, it's not for sale.
All right, got time for one more here. Thanks again to all the stage crew, all the volunteers. This is a song that I lifted out of the Lomax archives. I had some time on my hands during the pandemic and worked with the Library of Congress, the American Folklife Center at the Library of Congress, to do a project lifting some beautiful lost songs up from the ether and back into anyways, a couple verses from this ended up in a blues anthology in 1942, but I went back to the original 1939 recording and grabbed the rest of them. If you know it, sing along. If you don't know it, sing along anyway. Hell, it's Folk Festival. Thanks so much for being here at the Falcon Ridge Folk Festival here in 2025. Thanks to Ann Saunders. Thanks to everybody making this thing happen. I will have other sets yet this weekend, including one on the family stage later this afternoon and a CD signing at 5:30 over in the building there.
Take this hammer, hammer and give it to the captain. Take this hammer, hammer and give it to the captain. Take this hammer, hammer and give it to the captain. Tell them I'm gone, Lord, tell them I'm gone. And if he asks you, was I running? And if he asks you, was I running? And if he asks you, was I running? Tell them I was flying, Lord, tell them I was flying. Captain, captain, this old hammer too heavy. Captain, captain, this old hammer too heavy. Captain, captain, this old hammer too heavy. For the likes of man, for the likes of man. It must be the hammer, hammer that killed John Henry. It must be the hammer, hammer that killed John Henry. It must be the hammer, hammer that killed John Henry. But it won't kill me, no, it won't kill me. This old hammer, hammer shines like silver. This old hammer, hammer shines like silver. This old hammer, hammer shines like silver. But it rings like gold, Lord, it rings like gold. Lord, I'm coming to that Jordan water. Lord, I'm coming to that Jordan water. Lord, I'm coming to that Jordan water. Don't you let me drown, don't you let me drown. Take this hammer, hammer and give it to the captain. Take this hammer, hammer and give it to the captain. Take this hammer, hammer and give it to the captain. Tell him I'm gone, Lord, tell him I'm gone. Tell him I'm gone, Lord, tell him I'm gone. Tell him I'm gone, Lord, tell him I'm gone.
Mr. Joe Jencks. Sir Joe.
Thank you so much. Some more great music coming up just ahead.